Luxury is often associated with legacy, heritage, exclusivity, and so on. Luxury can come in many forms. You've got bags like Gucci or shoes like Louboutins. Cars, you've got Audi, Bentley, Porsche, Rolls-Royce, and the likes, and so on and so forth. But rarely do you associate luxury with tech, most especially Huawei. So, what happens when the California-based Chinese-manufactured Ceres collaborates with Huawei to create a crossover that, and I quote, unmatched luxury, cutting-edge technology, and eco-friendly innovation in every drive? Find out on this episode of Behind the Wheel. Luxury is often seen as opulent and inevitably expensive. So you'd think the same when it comes to luxury electrified vehicles. Like, for instance, a luxury hybrid will start at about 3 million Philippine pesos and a luxury EV, 5 million Philippine pesos. Now, with that in mind, we'll whip out the AutoDeal app available on iOS and Android to look up the Ceres 5 REEV Premium, and it's priced at 3,688,000 Philippine pesos. Now, if you were taken aback by that price, I completely understand, because truthfully, we were too. But after spending some time with the car, it actually shows up in more ways than one. One sure way it justifies its premium price is just how fast it goes. The Ceres 5 has got 480 horses and 664 Newton meters of torque coming from 2 electric motors, front and rear, making it an all-wheel drive. And then a 40 kilowatt battery, which means that it can run on electric only of up to 158 kilometers. Now, here's where the RE in its name comes in. That stands for range extended, because this also has a 1.5-liter turbocharged gasoline engine, which is essentially a generator for the batteries. And in total, that can push this car full tank and full charge up to over 1,100 kilometers. And mind you, this is also fully electric driven, which means the engine is not connected to the drive in any way or form. When the engine does fire up when the batteries need a charge after its 150 kilometer EV range, the 5 can achieve 20 kilometers per liter. And this was on a trip from Makati to Tagaytay and back on a weekday. As for charging, it has a Type 2 port for AC charging and a CCS2 port for DC charging. On slow charging, it would take around 3 hours to get from 25 to 90%. On DC fast charging, it takes 30 minutes to get from 30 to 80%. To sum it all up, it goes really, really fast. Huh? Achoo. Oh! But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Hey, what's Earl doing here? Now, off the bat, the Ceres 5 isn't at all loud, and I really believe it's better off because of that. It's comprised of smooth flowing lines, and though there are some aspects of it that take some cues from other luxury crossovers, it still manages to exude a very premium poise, so to speak. And the wheels do certainly add to that. They are 20s and wrapped in P0s. And might I add that I like that they kept the design very simple. It gets full marks from me not looking like the electric fan blades. The 5 stands at a modest 150 millimeters, and for size comparison, it's at the same ballpark as the Mazda CX-60 or the Porsche Macan. To compare other cars to the Series 5, or any car for that matter, check out the AutoDeal comparison tool on AutoDeal.com.ph. On to more figures when you lift the power tailgate with the button located right there. Oddly placed, isn't it? You are looking at 369 liters of space that's maximized when you take the tonneau off. Good enough for a balikbayan box and your hand carry luggage. When you fold the seats, you can maximize it to 776 liters of space, which is good enough for 3 balikbayan boxes, and then even enough space for your trusty friend right there. Oh, before I forget, there is also a 12-volt socket found right here at the edge. Now, though the size of the vehicle would suggest that it is more of a driver-oriented car, you're not short on any luxuries back here. Thanks, Jack. You've got nice wood paneling on the doors and here in front of you too. I'm not sure if it's real wood though. You've got nice leather all around. You've got cow bum all around. It's Napa. The seats are supportive. The tunnel in the center is not very high. So if there was a third passenger, no issues at all, but better obviously for four. That is my normal driving position. Knee space is pretty good. Headroom is also good, even with the Tesla style roof that you've got above. Which I gotta admit, that's pretty nice. Now the toys back here also include two air vents found directly up front, but it's odd though. You can move them from side to side easily, but both of them are controlled up and down by one swing. That kind of odd for me. What isn't odd is two Type-C charging points. One of them is a 15 watt. The other has a maximum of 66 watts, which means you could charge a small laptop there. That I like. You have a center armrest with two cup holders that pop out of nowhere. I don't appreciate the piano black, but hey. Then you also have a small little cubby hole here for your knickknacks, your abubuts, or your nosekewats. That's that. You have nets directly in front of you. And overall, it's a very comfortable, it is. Even though feeling that it's a tight cabin, what's nice is that the roof can get bright enough so that you don't feel claustrophobic at all. And though you may think it gets hot in here, it is quite decently heat rejecting. Oh, and one more thing. I found these clips inside the car. They're called the VMBO, or the Vehicle Mounted Bottle Opener, which is cool because that when you're driving at 200 kilometers per hour on cruise control, you can pop open a beer and...
No.
No?
No.
Oh, well, I just thought.
Why does it fit in the seatbelt?
So that you always know where it is, I think.
Huh.
Strange, no? Now, up front, the leather continues all around the cabin, which I absolutely love. From the dash, there's leather on the dashboard itself. I love it. To the steering wheel, to the seats, to the sides of the doors. And it's super comfortable in here, might I add. Getting into your proper driving position, not going to be an issue because the steering wheel is telescopic and you've got power seats. Now, these seats, something special too, because they are heated, but they're also ventilated, which is good. And it's also got a massage function. Now, it's not going to be like the more expensive massage chairs that you've seen in malls and stores and whatnot, but it is one of the better ones that I've tried inside a car.
You know, this clip taken out of context looks really bad.
Huh? The overall build quality of the cabin is like really great. From the dashboard to the seats, even to the shifter, it feels good. And down to the door card bottle holder, that's a nice soft touch too. It was almost flawless until you get to what's underneath the shifter, which is piano black. It's the only one in the cabin. And you know how I hate piano black because it's a fingerprint magnet. They could have gotten a little bit of piece of wood here and covered the piano black, made it all look so much better. Would have been nice. Jack, fix it. Talk to them. Talk to them.
How talk to them? They're
Talk to them.
Chinese, right? Oh wait, no. They're California.
Based in California.
So like, how do they talk?
What's up, dude?
I don't think that's how they talk anymore.
Okay, how about... Oh my God, we got Luca? Now, I wish I could say the same great things about the infotainment system because it is, after all, a 15.6-inch screen, but it can get somewhat convoluted because everything, and I do mean everything, is there. From your drive modes to your air to your audio, it's all there, and it's a couple of layers to get to what it is that you need. For instance, let's say, for example, you're on CarPlay and you want to move the air vents from side to side or just point it in a particular direction. So you exit CarPlay, and now I gotta go to my air where I know that the air is, you swipe up, and then you take your fingers and then you move the air vent on the right side by moving your fingers side to side, and then on your left side by moving your fingers side to side too. I just want to be able to get to the air vents as quickly as possible while I'm driving without taking my focus away from the road and onto the screen. You know what I mean? There are other goodies though on the screen, like a surround view camera, various apps like YouTube or Netflix. Well, it's kind of something you shouldn't be used when you're driving, but hey, it's for the passengers. And plus, the sound system sounds really good. That's sick. In front of you, you'll find a 10.25-inch instrument cluster, which is laid out pretty neatly. And furthermore, you also have a heads-up display for your speed and cruise information. Speaking of cruise, that's controlled by a stalk down over yonder. And on the steering wheel, which feels great to hold, you have various controls for the infotainment and cluster as well. For charging, there's a USB-A and USB-C port and a wireless charger on top of a little vent to keep your device cool. There's a large cup holder over here, and if that's not enough, there are two smaller ones over here. Now at this part, we usually strap on our seat belts, tell you to like and subscribe, and go out for a drive by hitting the start-stop button. Unfortunately, there isn't one in this car. They've taken that away too, much like the air controls that you can immediately get to. See, the way it works is that when you approach the vehicle, it just turns on immediately, and then when you leave the vehicle, you lock it for peace of mind, and that's that. Well, I kind of missed the button. I want that back. Do please like and subscribe to our channel, because with your subscription, we might be able to bring the start-stop button back. That's gonna be a lot of people.
I'm not sure that's how that works, but okay.
I don't think so either.
But still subscribe.
Yeah, please. Like I said earlier, the Ceres 5 RE EV is fully electric driven, which means it goes like there's no tomorrow. Watch this. Sport mode, here we go. Oh God. Feel my face folding. Whew. It's like a light switch. You just flip it and it goes. And because it's fully electric driven, when you're going around twisties and turns like what we are doing right now, there's no stopping this thing. It just keeps going. There's no second guessing. There's no downshifting. There's no turbo spooling. It just goes. Even if you wanted to overtake someone while you were going uphill, you've got all of that horsepower and Newton meters of torque at your foot tip, and you just have to punch it and it goes like it keeps going. Hey, what a perfect time.
To what?
To Huh?
Oh no, here we go.
Huh? Achoo.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it never comes in just one. Like it's two.
Yeah.
Achoo.
Oh, ow, my stomach. You feel it in your gut, no?
You do.
Holy.
I like it like your face kind of feels like it's being plastered and flattened. Now, the suspension, even though this is geared towards more of a comfortable car, but because of the power that it's got, the suspension is rather good. It's not stiff, it's not too soft, it's just about right. Now, the NVH can be a little, well, it could do a little better, to be honest with you, but it does have 20-inch wheels, so whatever it is that we're getting is pretty darn good. But the suspension, well, liken it this way. It's very, very stable because of the weight of the car. So liken it to like when Jack power lifts. His feet are on the ground, Jack has got heft to him, and it's very, very stable when he power lifts, right? But it's still quick and agile because of the twin motors that it has, that in mid power lift, if I were to slap Jack's butt, this thing goes as fast as he would drop the weights. Which I would never do, Jack. I seriously, I never would.
What a very specific and odd analogy.
It came to my head. I don't know why.
But hey, at least it paints a clear picture.
Yeah, of never slapping Jack's butt.
Okay.
With the steering, some people might find it a bit too light, considering how powerful the vehicle is, especially when you're going around turns like this. But regardless of how light it feels, it's on point. I mean, as we showed earlier, while we were going around the twisties at a little bit of speed, you just point the car in the direction you want it to go, and it goes. Well, it also helps the fact that this car is also an all-wheel drive. On to more sensible driving out of the highway. The power is just absolutely great. If you think you didn't have any worries about overtaking uphill, my goodness, what more so on a flat surface like a highway like this? The only thing that you have to worry about is trying to make sure that you keep it under 100 kilometers per hour, because this thing just keeps going. The advanced driver assist system inside this car is a bit of a mixed bag. It's good, it works well, to a point where sometimes it works a little too well. For instance, the blind spot monitoring. When it goes off, everything else shuts off in this, no, not the system, but like your music, it just completely turns off for like 2 or 3 seconds until the warnings are done, and then it comes back on. It's a little too sensitive for my taste. The adaptive cruise is good. The distance it keeps to the car in front of you is fine. It works well. It's just that the lane keep assist, that's the one that needs a little bit of work, because it feels like it kind of drifts from side to side, from left to right. It doesn't respond to the lines as quickly as you'd think by keeping you in the center. No, there's a bit of a drift there. Hence why we feel that the whole system in itself, although it works, could use a bit of Sunday school. You know, Sunday school. Keep it in the center without drifting. Know what I mean? Now, it may sound as if I'm nitpicking on the ADAS of this car. It's only because that, well, this car is also known as the Ceres Ito 5. And Ito stands for adding intelligence to auto. I guess that's what the O stands for. So I was kind of hoping that the system here would be one of the best. Unfortunately, it just isn't. What you get for an almost 3.7 million Philippine peso price tag is a very quick and powerful crossover in the Ceres 5. It's also got a very well-appointed interior, and it's got range for days. Unfortunately, the reliance on the screen gets kind of old really quickly, and the advanced driver assist system does need a bit of refinement. 3,688,000 Philippine pesos is a lot of money. And to be honest with you, the Ceres name doesn't actually carry the same weight as other luxury names out there. And when it comes to luxury purchases, it's mostly driven by brand name. But what I can tell you, what this car can do at this price point that the other luxury brands can't, is that it can launch itself like a bat out of hell and keep going and going and going and going and going till it's gone.